It is not a secret that the U.S. intelligence organization, the CIA, has brought down unwanted governments around the world and replaced it with either military juntas or puppet governments to protect American interests in them. Here are 5 of the subtle and not so subtle ways it's done it. The first thing the CIA do is usually to identify the opposition or create one if it is not in existence. All they need is discover potential traitors in a country, encourage them with a bribe and political power to destroy their countries. It can be as simple as giving them money for anti-government activities or supporting a military coup, and it happened in Ghana in 1966. A former CIA operative, John Stockwell, briefly described in his book In Search of Enemies how the CIA supported the coup of General Joseph Ankara and the National Liberation Council to overthrow Nkrumah to curtail his Pan-African ambitions. Similar instances happened in Brazil, Guatemala, Southern Vietnam, and many others. Another tactic of the CIA is assassination of leaders to install a US-approved one. The US intelligence agency criminally tried to kill democratically elected leader of the Congo, Patrice Lumumba, to control the resources and ideology of his country until they succeeded in 1961. Despite the US Senate in the 1970s forcing the organization to cut back this method, the organization never abandoned it. The strategy simply changed in terminology from assassination to targeted killings. Destroying the economies of targeted nations with embargoes and economic sabotage is another tactic the CIA uses to overthrow governments. The target is usually to crumble the economy and create legitimacy crisis. In his book, John Stockwell, the CIA operatives reviewed how the CIA created an economic crisis in Ghana under Nkrumah to aid the acceptance of General Ankara's coup in 1966. The same strategy was used against Salvador Allende of Chile in the 1970s to bring in Pinochet. The intelligence organization would downplay the sins of the puppets and sing the sins of their targets to give them a bad reputation and create anti-government rhetorics to aid their ousting in an election, coup or revolution. It does this by buying newspapers, TV and radio stations, the social media and social media influencers, and civil society groups. This was used against General Sani Abacha in Nigeria to cover his economic achievements and turn him against his people. Causing panic among the people and creating social tensions through street protests is another way the CIA changed governments, and making sure the protesters don't know the real motives are also key. This was used against Gaddafi in Libya. To throw Gaddafi out, millions of dollars and arms were channeled into Libya to push a revolt against him. The result, Libya ended up living in political and economic instability after his death, while the US and her allies profit from the reconstruction of Libya and its oil.